on the bank?
Yeah, right on the bank. He ain't big, he just chunky. He's just big. Bass fishing, when the going gets tough, a lot of times it's tough to throw a jighead worm. Jighead worm is not one of those sexy baits like a big swim bait or a big deep running crankbait, but if you gotta have 5 in the boat, there's few things that catch them any better than that. That's what we're gonna do on today's video. We're gonna do a little fishing. We're gonna come back and go over some basics. Stay tuned. Skinny is. Right here. Got one eye. See the eye right there? I haven't caught them decent yet. This is going to take up a little bit. Bite.
Are they on the bank?
He ain't big, he just thinks he is. He's looking big. A little better than I thought it was. That's this key. It looks like body cam, isn't it? Oh well. You know, when we talk about finesse fishing and jighead worm fishing, there's several types of jig heads out there. But today's video, we're going to talk about darter heads. Usually darter heads I reserve for times whenever either the fish are on vertical cover, like bridge pilings, docks, bluff banks, stuff like that, or I know the fish are biting on the fall. A lot of times in this situation, the fish will hit on the initial fall. You throw it out there, it sinks a little bit, and before it hits the bottom, you get that ding, or your line just tightens up. A lot of times that line tightens up. That's the right one to catch right there. So anyway, we're just gonna go over a few tips and tactics today. If you don't know what a darter head is, that's what it is. It's kind of a cone shape, and there's a couple different ways we like to rig that thing. you know, if you're around a lot of cover or you're not sure of your cover, a good way to do it is just do it like a Texas rig. Just run it in there, oh, I don't know, probably 3/8 of an inch. Pull it up over that keeper, hide that hook right back in the worm. That's what you got. Okay. When I first started fishing this thing, I didn't know but one way. I didn't know you could do it that way. When we started fishing this thing, we hung up a lot, but we would fish open hook. And what that is simply just threading your worm on there. Something like that right there with the hook exposed. Caught a lot of fish doing that. You don't miss very many, but you don't miss very many tree limbs and debris on the bottom either. That's the problem. So we kind of started going with the Texas rig version, and to be honest with you, I probably use that 95% of the time when I'm jig head worm fishing. You know, as far as baits we throw, you got a finesse worm. You can use a French fry. You can use, you know, a short curly tail worm. Any of that stuff works pretty good. The ringworm works good. Also, another thing to think about too is a lot of people have started going to the trick worm. And a trick worm is a little bit longer than the finesse worm. What we do there is something just a little bit different. The rig is the same, but I use a different hook. We'll Texas rig it. You got more worm to put in the fish's mouth, and I want a little bit more bite on my hook. So we'll rig it up same way. We'll hide that hook in there, just like that. And you see it's a little bit bigger bait, a little bit longer bait, and a bigger profile. A lot of people like that. I like it at times, not all the time. Usually I'll go with a smaller one and err on that side. I like to catch as many as I can catch, and the smaller the bait, a lot of times the bigger number you'll catch. As far as the rig we use, I do it just about exclusively on a spinning rod. And I use 6.3 to 1 reel, 6'6" to 7 foot medium to medium heavy rod. Everybody has their own preference of that thing. Like I've said before in some of my videos, I'm a short guy. 6'6" works good for me. Line wise, I'm gonna go with 8 to 10 pound fluorocarbon, just about exclusively. I like that line, no stretch, very sensitive, and always looking for that light bite. So many of these bites are just as crazy as it sounds, it's just a pressure bite. You just feel the pressure and the little sensation. Next thing you know, you got a buster. Let's talk colors. When I'm jig head worm fishing, I like to stick with the earth tones. What are earth tones? Earth tones are your watermelons, your green pumpkins, green pumpkin red, watermelon red, your candies, even kudzu. You know, kudzu has a watermelon base to it, so that's what I consider an earth tone. Earth tone colors, they mimic shad, minnows, brim, crawfish, you name it, and it does a pretty good job. When you're in clear water, it changes color. In dark water, it changes to be optimum for that color. So it's one of my favorite ones, favorite types of colors that I like to use. As far as what are we looking for when I'm throwing this worm, like we said before, we're looking for vertical cover. Vertical cover is dock posts, bridge pilings, bluff walls, anything like that that's up and down. Fish just tend to get on that. What I like about that is, you know, fish can go up and down. If the water is moving and changing levels, they can go up and down with that, and they feel better if they can move up and down in that water column. And I can cover all of those water columns on those vertical casts. So anyway, guys, I hope this video helped you. If it did, please like and subscribe. We got some really cool stuff coming up, so stay tuned. I'll catch you next time. Thank y'all.